Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Finally, car dealerships are done. Yes, at least in my humble opinion, clock's ticking. So let's backtrack a little bit. 2019, 2020, pandemic happens. Americans get helicoptered STEMI checks. They can't travel. They can't do anything but buy a car, a boat, or rehab their house. Most went out and bought a car. Manufacturers weren't making new cars. So once that old inventory got sold out, they went to used cars. Started buying used cars. The dealers couldn't keep up. So they started overpaying for used cars. And when they did get new cars in, they would disgustingly mark them up $20,000, $30,000. Not all, but most. Then the banks started allowing people to borrow 140% a book. Didn't need to require verify. No, not all lenders, but there's few didn't verify income. Exasperated the market, right? So now we're here. Fed is no longer printing money. They're trying to lower inflation, bringing in rates. And this time around, auto manufacturers are in the right side of the car. Oh wait, they got caught with their pants down and had tons of inventory. This time around, they didn't have hardly any inventory. Everything they shipped was already sold. Think about that when we go forward. So it all started with electric vehicles. The Ford Lightning, dealers were marking that stuff up disgustingly high. Bronco, anything that people water, they thought saw value in it. Right? Let's just go through some pictures here. Let's see here. Let's see what some of these scumbags done. Yeah, right there. Right there's one. Right there's another one. You could have bought another car for what they had markup. Absolute scumbags. Supply and demand, right? But there is some ethics, right? You got to do business after, and car dealers have been unaffected by this stuff for years, right? People have short-term memories. They'll mark this stuff up and say, "Oh, well, we didn't mean to," or "that was a hot item," or whatever, right? This is just some of the stuff that I've seen. It's madness. That's what it is, right? So the EVs, General Motors, Ford, they're all trying to compete with Tesla. They can't compete with Tesla right now. They're years behind. So what do? They found a loophole in the contract. All they got to do is spin off their company. So, backstory, right? An automaker has a signed agreement with dealers in that specific state where they can't sell directly to the consumer, right? Tesla has no such agreements, so it can sell. What the auto manufacturer wants to do is, like Ford, create another division that has no pre-existing contracts and can sell directly to the consumer with an electric vehicle, right? But what if the dealerships fail, right? So, journey on with me on this little bit of madness I have here, right? So finally going to see the end of the dealership, in my humble opinion. Right now, the floor plan for a dealership is 6 to 7% on what they have to keep on their lot. On top of that, you remember all those used cars that they were saying, I would have people, my buddies tell me, just like back in '08, can you believe they gave me $15,000 for a pickup truck that I paid $12,000 for 2 years ago? Red flag. I heard that all through the summer, the last 2 summers. It was just crazy. That's unsustainable, right? Now you have entered in a game of hot potato. Well, now the song's over with, and the dealer has the hot potato. So they're stuck with a bunch of used cars that they're horrendously overbought in. The consumer wants cheaper prices. They can't offer it to them because they'll lose money. And so they're stuck. So the only 2 options they have, hope and pray that the Fed loosens interest rate and they can roll these suckers out of there, take them to an auction, take a slightly lesser hit. But from what I'm reading, the auctions are flat. And the dealer has to keep making money or payments on these floor plans, right? So here's, as this thing goes deeper, people are already backing away from the car market right now, right? They've got bigger stuff. They've got bills they got to pay, higher grocery bills, just a whole host of different stuff, right? Paying $1,000 a month for a car is not one of them. And like I said in a prior video, I've got a good friend of mine that works at a dealer that he's telling me that he's seeing 1 to 2 a day. Here you go. Here's my keys. I can't make the payment anymore. See you. I've also read that car loan companies have also started bypassing or waiving the open auto close on a loan, which means you don't have to trade in the car that you have to buy a new one, aka we'll let you buy this one at a better price and let this other one go back. Bad news. So my thesis is the bubble has popped, we're on our way down, and you're going to see a cascade of bankruptcies in the used car market. Let's just take a look here. Carvana, fresh lows. That, can't speak for them, but this looks like a bankruptcy. Let's go to America's Car Mart, right? In my world, that looks like a bear flag, right? And it's riding up that bear flag. This thing looks like it's going to break. Guess what? Let's just see what this thing looks like. Pretty close to fresh lows, or it may hold like $20, right? Here's Vroom. That also looks like a BK. I'm not saying it is, whatever. But if I'm just looking at charts tonight, you can cover this up. I don't even care who it is. If I'm looking at this, that looks like a BK. So with that being said, right, this will obliterate the used car market. Obliterate it. And with that happening, guess who's got a fat stack of cash this time around? Ford, General Motors. I don't know about Chrysler. I haven't really followed them that much, right? They'll be able to swoop in and buy these dealers. And they'll probably try to buy every dealer in the state. They'll try to acquire as many dealers as they can in that state, if not all of them, so they can go direct to a consumer and convert those dealerships over to service centers, electric charging stations, and stuff like that. That's probably what's going to happen. And the dealers, it's their own fault. they're no different than a deranged consumer. Money, 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 money. They don't care about tomorrow. They don't care about 5 years from now, 1 year from now. What'd you do this weekend, right? So the piper has come. In my humble opinion, it's just a matter of time. Clock's ticking. So that's all I got. This will be my last one till after Christmas. Everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Hope everything stays safe, stay warm. Beefy out.